Hi everyone, in this video I'll walk you through the migration from traditional zoning to auto zoning. Before we dive in, the diagram in the bottom left corner shows the physical connections used in this demo. It will come in handy as we go through the configuration. Alright, let's jump into the host section. So here you'll see I've got two host objects, host 1 and host 2, already configured. Both are associated with the default port set 64, which doesn't support auto zoning by design. So for this I had to create the zones manually in the traditional way. Let me show you those zones on the switches. On this screen, switch 1 is on the left and switch 2 is on the right. I have run zone show on both, filtered for the traditional zones. You can see one zone per host on each switch, each containing the host's WWPN and the FlashSystem port it's connected to. Now, let's head back to IBM FlashSystem and check the active workload before we start the migration. Back on the hosts page, you can see both hosts are online, both of them are mapped to the vDisks and driving active IOs. For a closer look at the workload, let's head over to Performance under Monitoring. These charts confirm there's active IO flowing through the system. We'll come back here post migration to make sure nothing got disrupted. Now let's get into the actual migration. It's just a couple of steps. Step 1 is to create an AutoZone-enabled port set. For this, head over to Network under Settings. Then click on Fibre Channel port set. And in here, click Create Port Set. This is where we will define our new port set. Give it a name. I am going with AZ_PS1. Leave the auto zoning toggle on. Now, you'll need to pick the ports that have switch connectivity to your host and make sure they are marked auto zoning capable. In my case, port 2, 7, 10 and 14 have switch connectivity with my hosts, so those are the ones I'm picking. Then click Create Port Set. And there it is. Now we need to associate our hosts with the new AutoZone-enabled port set. For this, let's head back to the host page. To change the associated port set of a host object, right click on it, then choose Edit and Rename. Open the Advanced section, find the port set field, and select the newly created AutoZone-enabled port set, which in my case is AZ_PS1, and then hit Save. Let's do the same for the second host. A couple of things worth noting. Both of my hosts share the same ports, so one port set covers them both. But if your hosts connect to different ports, you can create separate AutoZone enabled port sets and associate them with the host objects accordingly. Also, anytime you change the port set associated with a host, run device discovery from the host side to refresh its view of the available paths. Now moving on, once a host is associated with an AutoZone enabled port set, the system automatically creates the zone for that configuration. Let's head over to the switches and check the new zones. Before we look at the newly created zones, a quick note. To make these auto-created zones easy to identify, I have set a prefix using the chsystem command with the AutoZone prefix flag. So now every zone the system creates from AutoZoning will start with AZ_MIG as the prefix. Now let me run zone show with AZ_MIG as the filter on both switches. And here you can see the auto-created zones. Notice the structure is different from before. The FlashSystem has organized them by target ports rather than by host. Each zone now contains one FlashSystem port along with the hosts that needs to reach it. So now with the new zones in place, we can safely clean up the obsolete traditional ones. With the cleanup done, Let's head back to the system and verify the I/O workload. Back on the host page, both hosts are still online, still driving active IOs. Now let's check the performance charts. And there it is. The workload is still running uninterrupted, exactly the way it was before the migration. And with that, we have completed the migration. Thank you.